Hi Tana, Malia, Jackie, Cynthia, and Bree. I really wish I could be at your graduation right now. My flight got delayed in Thailand, and actually it's been kind of hard to find a quiet place to send you a little message, just because you wear masks both outside and inside, and but I think I found a space. So let's take a minute, and I really wanted to tell you how proud I am of you, and that this past year it's been an honor to be able to get to know each of you and to spend time with you and to see your strength. And I want you to know that one of the goals of the program, Zion Massage College, is to create leaders in our industry. And I feel like each of you really do embody those leadership principles, and that you are so fully ready and already are taking the gift of healing touch to the people that you serve. I want to tell you a story, and I've told you this story before, and I think it just kind of illustrates this principle of leadership being a choice. So there was this man who wanted to find enlightenment. And so he went out into the woods and he meditated, and he stayed out in the woods and he just stayed there. And then when he would get hungry, he would go into the town and he would get some food. And then he would come back into the forest and he would meditate. And as he was sitting there meditating, it wasn't long before he saw this giant wolf. It was the biggest wolf that he'd ever seen in his life. And he felt, of course, terrified, but he just stayed still. He followed his breath, he softened, and he watched what the wolf was going to do. And he saw that the wolf actually was approaching this small fox, and the fox was crippled. The fox was only had 3 legs and was clearly having trouble getting around. And the man thought that for sure this wolf was going to eat the fox. It seemed inevitable. The fox was so vulnerable. But instead, this wolf, he was carrying a big piece of meat in his mouth, and he put it down by the fox, and he let the fox eat the meat. And it was amazing. He couldn't believe this had happened, And so the next day, it happened again. And he watched as this wolf, just benevolent, kind wolf, fed this little vulnerable fox. And so the man thought to himself, wow, I think this is a message from the divine. I bet that I don't need to go into town anymore, and I probably can just sit here and the universe will take care of me. And so he sat in meditation with his newfound faith, and he meditated, and pretty soon he got hungry. And then after a while, nothing happened. Nobody brought him food. And so he started to actually get really hungry. And after a while, he started feeling really sick. And this went on for a few days. He was really dedicated. And after a while, he started feeling really not well at all. He was starting to lose weight. He was starting to lose energy. And he saw this other man, this meditating monk that was traveling through the forest. And he called out to him. He's like, hey, brother, And they started talking, and he told him about this story. He told him about this wolf that he thought was going to attack the fox. And instead of attacking the fox, the wolf actually helped the fox and took care of him. And he said, brother, don't you think this is a message from the divine? Was I mistaken? I really thought that this was a sign that the universe would take care of me. And the meditating, wandering monk said, it is a message from the divine, but my question for you is, why did you identify with the struggling fox instead of identifying with the benevolent, strong wolf? Now, when I told this to you guys before, one of you asked me, what's wrong with identifying with the fox? Well, there's nothing wrong with identifying with a fox, but if you're capable of being the wolf and you're capable of helping others, then it is your dharma, your duty, to step up and to do that if you possibly can. And a lot of times this happens just through a shift in our awareness. In this program, we've trained you to be leaders in the field. It's really important that you have this leadership ability because people need healthy touch, and they need people that have strong boundaries, that understand ethics, that are willing and able to work within their scope of practice, and to be kind and compassionate, and to be able to be a solid, just foundation for others. And I know that each of you are prepared to do that. One of the first things that we experience in life is touch. And we do this in conjunction with also being fed. And so it makes a lot of sense that, we're nursed and we're held and we're nurtured. And this is foundational. It's foundational for the growth of our physical body, and it's foundational for the growth of our emotional and mental capabilities. And it's imperative for our cognitive function that we have good nutrition, and that we have both with like nutrients from food, and that we have good emotional nutrition through touch. And studies show that if people don't get that they can have cognitive delays, and that it can really impact them. You guys read the book Change Your Brain, Change Your Life in the Optimal Health class. And so you read about the unintentional studies that came out of the Romanian orphanages in the 70s through 90s, so children who were touch deprived, and how much it impaired their cognitive ability and their emotional functioning. And this is important for all of us. And it is such a key part of our health. It is the very most traditional medicine, and some of the most important medicine that you can practice are, of course, healthy touch and healthy nutrition. And I am so grateful that you guys are in this profession, that I can now call you my colleagues, because you're no longer my students, you're now my peers. And I am so grateful and so honored to be able to welcome you to this profession. And I am so excited to see the good work that you're gonna do, and to continue to hear from you and continue to interact with you as my colleagues, as my friends. Welcome and congratulations. Okay, I hope to see you soon. I have something for each of you. There's these little amulets that I got you from one of my favorite Wat Doi Kong Mu, which is in northern Thailand, right on the Burmese border. And they are just